à Penkita. Meli Melo is a captivating 2-hour talk show. Meli Melo est une émission socio-culturelle animée par une équipe dynamique et professionnelle. Toutes les informations, sport, entertainment, musique, toutes les dernières infos sur l'industrie de la musique haïtienne de New York à Miami, from Boston to Atlanta. Tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là, ou attendez sur Meli Melo Show. Meli Melo is live on YouTube and Facebook every Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Have you ever found yourself embarking on a new construction or renovation project, only to feel overwhelmed by the lack of expertise and time to manage it effectively? The solution you've been seeking is right here. I am Sabine Apollon, the founder and CEO of Aniba Consulting, with over 2 decades of experience in design, construction, and commercial real estate. I'm your dedicated partner in success. I'll assist you in identifying and navigating the intricate details of your project, dealing with local jurisdictions, coordinating with general contractors and subcontractors, even managing schedules and budgets. It all can become daunting and time-consuming. At Aniba Consulting, we specialize in making projects, small or complex, manageable and stress-free. We act as your advocates throughout the entire process, safeguarding both your financial and personal interests. Helping you deliver your perfect project is our top priority. Together, we will bring your vision to life.
Employee lawsuits can be emotionally draining, financially devastating, and oftentimes can be avoided through management training and ensuring you have risk mitigation processes in place that alert you of potential human resource issues. At the Gene Consulting Group, we help you take a proactive approach to how you do business. We do this by providing responsive, legal, and HR services tailored for you. Our services are on demand, on your terms, and transparent. You get a trusted advisor and partner who can execute across multiple lanes for a fraction of the cost. We help you maintain an engaged workforce while staying in compliance and avoiding costly litigation so that you can focus on what you do best, and that's growing your business. To learn how you can take a proactive approach to how you do business, please visit sandraljean.com.
Moi, c'est Darlene Joseph. Moi, suis un realtor, real estate broker avec Inspirational Homes dans Georgia. Moi, j'ai un pile année depuis que j'ai aidé les gens à acheter, vendre et investir dans le caille. Yo relem realtor communauté. Si vous Florida, vous pensez pour venir Georgia, il y a pile option pour vous. Tant qu'une option dans la communauté ça que nous prenons. Nous connaissons que Georgia a un gros caille. Si vous pensez pour un gros caille par là, contactez Darlene Joseph avec Inspirational Home à 678 613 75 76. Encore, c'est dans 678 613 75 76. Ou capable de joindre moi sur tous les réseaux sociaux, sur Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, moi là comme Sold by Darlene. Contactez-moi et m'appelez joindre.
Suivez tous les lundis de 6h à 8h p.m. Meli Melo Show à Penkita. Meli Melo is a captivating 2-hour talk show. Meli Melo est une émission socio-culturelle animée par une équipe dynamique et professionnelle. Toutes les informations, sport, entertainment, musique, toutes les dernières infos sur l'industrie de la musique haïtienne de New York à Miami, from Boston to Atlanta. Tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là, ou attendez sur Meli Melo Show. Meli Melo is live on YouTube and Facebook every Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Pour nous capables présenter Meli Melo Show et qui entre la canon chaque lundi soir de 6h à 8h. À ce là vraiment nous parlons d'un segment qui est vraiment intéressant côté nous pourrons gagner un segment qui pourra parler de autisme, ok, côté que nous pourrons gagner tout, et un autre segment qui est vraiment intéressant, et je pense que qui est un petit peu touchant tout, côté que nous pourrons gagner une dame dans la communauté haïtienne là, qui pourra venir parler de lui-même, parce que chose ça, et segment ça a vraiment pas le présenter de un monde qui compte faire show ensemble avec nous dans Meli Melo, et je pense que là nous déjà ouais qui est-ce que lié, et il s'agit bien de Penkita, segment ça son segment qui est vraiment spécial à nous-mêmes, côté que nous pourrons parler ensemble avec Natasha, et c'est un show noté doué depuis l'année dernière, et confrère nous Penko qui était vraiment fait contact ça yo, pour être capable de recevoir Natasha pour nous faire un petit parler avec lui. Je ne peux pas parler de sujet exactement qui ça que lui, mais tout le monde était branché à Soya. Rupipa n'a dit bonsoir, comment on y est, et lui nous on dans yeux, on pimpant à Soya. Dis-nous qui ça gagne à Soya là dans Meli Melo au Viva.
Bon. Bonsoir tout le monde, bonsoir tout auditeur Meli Melo, salut tout le monde. Et avant de commencer, il faut me dire un anniversaire.
Ouais, quoi? Ouais, quoi ça?
Avant pour là, on dit.
Bon,
je dis tout le monde que je dis à date pour date, c'est fait Meli Melo, ça fait exactement 2 ans que nous avons fait tout ça dans affaire là pour la communauté. Alors, on a dit bonjour, bonsoir, ça parle dépendre de côté et on a invité vous pour pendant ce temps qu'on a fait une introduction pour partager show, hein, pour quitter des petits commentaires. Et Jean-Fabrice dit, nous parlons d'un show exceptionnel pour ce là. Et juste sit back, j'aime qu'on dit, and relax, and share the show.
Exactement. Et si est-ce qu'il était l'argent lié à là, parce que et n'a problème c'est ton jour comme ça que Meli Melo te prend naissance là dans radio ça, Radio Grâce côté que CS t'es bonne opportunité pour nous te présenter un show et c'était nous trois confrères. C'était moi-même Penko et Rupipa qui étaient censé que main host et de show ça. Mais malheureusement, frère nous en font voyage que bon c'est ça,
c'est pour nous faire quand même tout.
Bon, c'est pour nous faire tout. C'est pour nous grand mettre là, mais nous pas qu'à dire. C'est pour une raison, toi, année ça, nous pas fêter fête Meli Melo dans la date que nous avons de fêter là. Et nous pensons que, au Pipa, ou bien, on l'autre date pour penser, nous pas qu'on finisse sur 2 dates là, mais nous pensons que, et enfin, année a fini, nous avons aimé et célébrer anniversaire Meli Melo. Et nous avons mon update. Et quand même pour nous que nous dire qui le ça fête en année a fini, nous avons aimé célébrer fête Meli. Mais année ça, pour date 29 là, nous pas, c'est date fête Penko tout, et nous pas célébrer. Et anniversaire Meli Melo dans date fête Penko. Nous avons raison personnelle pour ça. Et vous pouvez pas me penser que là, nous déjà parlé de ça. Et nous tout mentionné que de programmes que nous parlons sur là, que Martine, Claude, et pas le présenter les 3 mesdames qui vraiment et dans la communauté bossa qui travaille bossa qui professionnel bossa c'est professeur que pour parler et nous avons invité capable rejoindre nous tout et sous Zoom so parce que là on a un bel show moi avec Rupipa nous pral pour un petit break n'a quitté Martine Claude et avec invité lui vient présenter segment ça qui parle vraiment intéressant restez branché ou puis même pas son dernier barre quoi dire pour ça le commanditaire qui rend chose ça possible tout et
bon comme d'habitude j'en dis commanditaire c'est pas eux-mêmes nous pas d'appeler bien entendu si c'est pas promoteur nous pas d'appeler bien entendu nous inviter tout le monde tout des fois que monde qui te qu'on a aidé nous n'a dit nous merci monde qui vient pour aider nous tout n'a dit nous merci tout parce que sans nous-mêmes nous pas venir avec un bon show comme ça pour faut nous connaître que même gens dans tout business il y a des dépenses pour nous faire il y a des arrangements pour nous faire il y a toute bagage pour nous faire alors nous aimerais que nous connaît que Meli Melo là pour servir communauté Atlanta et toute l'autre communauté parce que tout ça n'a pas parlé là, il bon pour tout le monde qui dans toute l'autre communauté. M'pa vle nous penser que c'est Atlanta seulement. Atlanta nous doit joindre 2-3 monde qui gagne expérience de sujet nous parler là mais chose ça, il involve tout le monde. Alors m'a dit nous que nous allons pour une petite pause tout petit pour nous quitter mesdames venir pour installer puis pour expliquer nous exactement de quoi il s'en est. Alors encore, j'aime toujours dire, partager chaud, m'a salué tout commanditaire yo, n'a salué Jeff, n'a salué SCA Catering, n'a salué Yolanda. Fabrice, bon petit bois.
Bon, je pense que là, vous faites majorité et sponsor nous yo. Et manger la caille,
exactement.
Vraiment bon nous sponsor tout. Et vous saluez Jeff, c'est
à
Lounge et c'est notre sponsor Meli Melo.
Nous, dans les temps à venir, nous supposons qu'il y a un ribis tout. Exactement. Et nous saluons tout le monde qui voulait
aider Meli Melo, aider
dans chose là. Alors, pas oublier, on faut-il parler de promoteurs tout, il y a Carl Santibon,
Junior Design,
et Junior de Boston.
Vous comprenez? Parce que la majorité promoteur Richard qui compte faire promotion ensemble avec nous et qui l'autre promoteur boy ici encore nous pas parce que pas faire jaloux parce que là parce que c'est majorité promoteur si Meli Melo envie tout moi c'est grâce à promoteur
DJ final
tout DJ tout ça ça c'est que monsieur ça qui va nous support qui rend chose ça arrêter en vie. Et je pense que Jean-Claude mentionné là, Rupipa, c'est venir bonne opportunité nous capable de travailler ensemble avec vous, collaborer ensemble avec vous, faire publicité pour business ou qui quelqu'un bien chose ça en vie chaque lundi soir. Alors Rupipa, je pense que nous les mesdames nous arriver que nous parlons passer Martine, Michael ensemble avec invité Léo. Et je pense que c'est un sujet qui est vraiment intéressant, surtout quand plus parents qui gagnent Timon qui pensent que Timon n'a pas normal. Parfois, on méprise Timon ça yo et on pense que Timon ça parfois tous ces bagages esprit grands-parents qui entrent sous yo. Et pas ce sujet ça arrêtez brancher partager show et nous sur YouTube tout aller sur YouTube Meli Melo après show live tout et puis partager show faire mon suivre show. Après deuxième segment ensemble avec Penkita et Rupipa et moi-même capable présenter et on dame dans la communauté avec les Natasha capable parler d'un sujet qui est vraiment intéressant et n'a bien content tout pour nous gagner et Penkita avec nous à ce qu'on a fait parler que nous avons longtemps nous pas faire avec
et parce que pour monde qui était qu'on a chaque coup je me camper moi côté Penkita côté petite dame qui connaît dans show là bon je dis là nous porter le banou OK so restez branché à tout à l'heure
Vini qui t'aime dire des bagages. Moi te bouquet j'étais tout comme moi dans loyer et puis après tout comme ça gétant aller. Ou pas d'accord avec moi? M'a encouragé pour acheter un car. Non moi c'est Luco Pierre, mais c'est un realtor qui gagne licence dans Georgia et Florida. Là où louer un car ou dépend mettre car là. Pendant ce temps, on pourrait prix à monter chaque année. Mais de où posséder car ou joindre stabilité, contrôle et opportunité pour qu'elle monte dans la valeur. Ou c'est chef là. Je vais montrer qui j'en pour acheter Kala étape par étape. Je vais protéger. L'île est pour commencer à bâtir une fondation pour l'avenir. Ou mettre William Kounia à 404 954 0774. On a
Atlanta, this May 3rd. Get ready for two of the culture musical greats as Prestige Production presents for the first time together in Atlanta the legendary Eric Vigal. Eric Vigal comes to Atlanta for an exclusive performance you can't miss. Also performing Copa Music and Mortal Band, Rupipa de Haiti. Saturday, May 3rd at Essence Venue Lounge, 5439 Riverdale Road, hosted by Tonto Bisha. This May 3rd, come party with the legends inside of Essence Music and Lounge. Music by DJ Dr. Sound, DJ X-Ray, and DJ Fido. Tours will open at 9 p.m. Admission is $60 in advance. VIP $100. Tickets are on sale at eventbrite.com. Sponsored by Law Office of Kevin Judy and Rapid Cargo Shipping. For info, call 617-201.
Moi, c'est Darlene Joseph. Moi, suis un realtor, real estate broker avec Inspirational Homes dans Georgia. Moi, j'ai un pile année depuis que j'ai aidé les gens à acheter, vendre et investir dans le Kai. Yorelem Realtor Communauté. Si ou Florida, vous pensez pour venir Georgia, il y a pile option pour vous. Tant qu'une option dans la communauté ça que nous prenons. Nous connaissons que Georgia a un gros caille. Si vous pensez pour un gros caille par là, contactez Darlene Joseph avec Inspirational Home à 678 613 75 76. Encore, c'est dans 678 613 75 76. Ou capable de joindre moi sur tous les réseaux sociaux, sur Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, moi là comme Sold by Darling. Contactez-moi et m'appelez.
Est-ce que vous connaissez qui peut acheter? C'est moi qui peut dire qui peut acheter. Non, moi c'est Ousnan Jérôme, moi c'est un region advisor qui travaille dans Copia Homelands. C'est très important pour travailler avec un monde qui parle la langue. On me dit patience, qui peut aider depuis l'application jusqu'à arriver dans le closing table. Moi-même, avec toute l'équipe, je travaille dur pour jouer une qualification ou besoin pour acheter caille pour les mères. À Copia Homelands, licencié dans 20 États, inclus Florida et Georgia. Relève dans 908-764-0290. Quittez mon tour, qui est Jean, ou Caïdo, ou Caï ou mère.
Fan de la musique haïtienne, sit back and relax. Meli Melo Show a informé de tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là. Music, analyse, actualité, promotion, interview, spotlight, collaboration, live performance, fan Q&A, history, mainstream. Get all that on Meli Melo Atlanta Show.
Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir tout le monde. Bonsoir, bonsoir, bonsoir. Bonsoir to my co-educators, co-teachers, Alberta and Lucienne Bourgeois. My name is Martine Claude, as la belle Martine. Et à soir, nous allons présenter nous un bel show. Et show, et comme nous tous connaissons, que c'est mois de autisme, okay, in English, which is the month of autism awareness, okay? Et m'a demandé tout que pour toute audience là, pour nous faire une patience ensemble avec nous, parce que nous avons pile mon assoya qui parle anglais, okay? So, n'a pas obligé de changer de créole en anglais, français. Ouais, nous pas qu'à Kimbel et créole net, okay? Parce que l'autre moun qui pourra le présenter ensemble avec nous, Yveline, Alexandre, il y a un paquet de parents qui parlent anglais, qui capent là tout ensemble avec nous. OK? So, comme on dit nous, show, c'est un show qui est dédié à célébration pour autisme awareness. OK? So, nous allons définir pour nous tout à l'heure. Mais avant de faire ça, nous besoin pour m'introduire tous les deux belles mesdames, my educators. We are all educators. And we'll start off with la belle Lucienne. Bourgeois. Introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction, la belle Martine. Okay, moi c'est Lucienne Bourgeois. Moi c'est educators. I'm currently working as a special needs inclusion teacher, pre-K at Sheltering Arms with DeKalb County Schools. I've been with DeKalb since 2008. And I started in education back in 2002 with my undergrad in criminal justice in SUNY Farmingdale. That's in Long Island, New York. And right after my undergrad, didn't have a job, wanted to work, signed up with the Board of Ed, started as a substitute teacher. The first school that I went to, my second day, the principal called me in her office and said, "You did a beautiful job, Miss Brumaire." I looked at her, I'm like, "How do you even remember my name?" And she said, "You worked very well with my kids. How would you like to work as one of my teachers?" And I said, "Absolutely." She said, "You have no background in education." I said, "No, I wanted to become a cop." So here I am, 23 years later.
We have Mr. Laren, Laren Datnata, Miss Alberta.
Good evening, everyone. Moi, c'est Alberta Therlonge. I've been in this community for the past 27 years, I think, from New York. First, thank you so much for having me today, and a happy second anniversary to Meli Melo show. I started watching you guys from day one, and it's an honor to be part of something that's clearly making an impact in our community. I've been an educator for over 15 years. I work in Cobb County. I'm currently in the inclusion classroom, a shared classroom, what they call co-teaching classroom, with a gen ed teacher and myself, and I am case manager for about 7-8 students that's on my caseload with various disabilities. Again, it's an honor for me to be here today speaking on diverse disabilities, including autism.
Thank you, both ladies. Let me just say a little bit about myself, just real quick. And as far as the education, I have been an educator right now, going on 27 years, working with special needs, special education department, department chair, actually at this time for the special needs department. I also have a master's degree in social work. Okay, I also provide therapy, and I have a leadership degree as well. Okay, educational leadership degree. So to say that, we also have Miss Alexandre, Yveline Alexandre, that's also going to be joining us tonight. Is she on?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay. Yveline, do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, thank you first. Merci que nous recevons Meli Melo. Et tant qu'on m'a posté flyer, mettez hello Georgia friend ami, il y a des gens qui pensent que c'est retourner Georgia. Merci Melo. Merci Meli Melo que nous recevons moi. Moi je suis Yveline Alexandre. Moi c'est parent un jeune adulte qui a autisme. Moi son EBA thérapeute. Et nous sommes militants, advocates qui travaillent pour sensibiliser. Premièrement, éduquer la communauté, pas nous d'abord, sensibilisation autiste pour une meilleure acceptance avec une inclusion qui est plus juste.
I actually wanted you to introduce yourself purposely. Okay, I'm pretty sure you know why. You have been here for a while. We do miss you. We hated to see you go. And of course, you need to let them know that you have a beautiful young lady that right now is an adult. We knew her when she was a little girl, and everyone, we're going to hear a lot about her, and it's amazing. It's out of this world what she's doing. Okay, as a child that has autism. So, Yveline, we're going to start with you, okay? Because
Martine, bon bagay, nous pral parler cri franglish. Parce que mon réseau parents haïtien, créole, français, anglais. Parce que mon réseau parents, tout parents haïtien, quel que soit côté, c'est mon réseau parents en Haïti et tout, attendez nous là. Donc, et puis, le partage le code là avec eux. Les parents haïtiens, autant de nous-mêmes tout, comme haïtiens qui travaillent à faire comme éducateurs. Donc, son bagage, c'est nous tous qui nous mettons ensemble pour voir nous arriver plus loin.
Okay, so, comme on a commencé, as an ABA specialist, Alexandre, Yveline, I'm going to give you the floor let's start off. On commence par définir qui ça qui autisme. Okay, so let's start with that first. On a commencé avec ça. Décrire pour nous, après ça, nous allons aller.
Dépend si mesdames, vous avez prendre partie ça.
Education. You're the specialist.
That's okay. I thought I was the specialist in being a parent of a child with autism. Anyway, well, tout on attendait autisme, gen moun qui relève maladie. Et encore, son opportunité pour me remercier Denis Seyid ils font superbe vidéo bah nous, tout coup très précis pour expliquer qui ça autisme est. Autisme c'est pas un bagage qu'on fait, on teste sang, on teste urine et puis pour ouais on dit bon ou gain autisme. Donc c'est pas une maladie. Une maladie son bagage que ou gain ils font diagnostic pour et pour prendre remède ou guérir. Pas un bagage comme ça là autisme, son condition neurologique qui d'abord affecte le cerveau, puis automatiquement affecte tout sens. Trois caractéristiques principales où joindre quand monde qui gagne autisme, c'est que yo pas fait interaction à monde, yo gagne le plus souvent yo gagne de problèmes problème communication et puis gestes yo gagne de action de gestes répétitifs. Ou joindre tout autisme, si garçon 4 fois plus gagne autisme que ti fille. Donc pourcentage qualité garçon plus que ti fille qui gagne autisme. Ensuite, depuis 2015, nous avons statistique 2015, Organisation la santé mondiale, la santé Tebaï, et que il y a plus que de 75 millions de monde qui sont affectés dans le monde par autisme. Donc, mais nous avons tout, c'est une condition qui a grandi. Il y a des gens qui posent des questions pour qui ça. Nous avons mis une bagaille clé qui est important parce que peut-être diagnostic fait plus vite et plus bonheur. Donc, nous avons ça. Même moi-même, l'homme émigré aux États-Unis, il y a un petit monde sur 1000 petits monde qui ont autisme. Il y a un petit monde sur chaque 31 petits monde qui fait aux États-Unis, il y a autisme. Donc, l'autisme, d'une façon ou d'une autre, a propagé. Et puis, donc, il faut nous faire sensibilisation pour que plus de monde connaisse. Mais là, on a regardé la communauté, nous fait un pile effort, mais bagay yon ti jan trop ralenti, peut-être c'est qu'à moins trop pressé. Donc, qui ça autisme? Là, nous dit que autisme affecte le cerveau, il affecte tout sens. Donc, il y a un paquet l'autre bagay qui mène ça. Il y a un problème dans tout sens, il y a de surcharge sensorielle, qu'on qui a autisme, qui a de comportement agressif, par exemple. En plus de ça, autisme mène un paquet l'autre comorbidité là-dedans. Ça veut dire, gros pourcentage de gens qui ont autisme qui ont souffrir épilepsie ou bien qui ont problème gastro-intestinal, diarrhée ou bien constipation chronique ou bien ballonnement. Il y a un pile là-dedans qui souffre qui anxiété, sleeping disorder, eating disorder. Tout ça c'est des comorbidités ou joindre quand monde qui ont autisme. Est-ce que tout le monde qui a autisme ça a un problème ça ou non? Mais il y a un pourcentage qui est très élevé dans toute comorbidité moins dit. Et c'est comme ça dit que ce n'est pas une maladie, c'est un diagnostic, mais comme on peut le voir ça, c'est un développement de Timoun. Nous connaissons Timoun à chaque âge, 3 mois, 6 mois, il y a de bagailles à faire. Là, comment c'est où Timoun gagne de bagailles? La fait, par exemple, il bouche les oreilles, il a balancé, il a crié tout le temps. Il paraît très différent, même à maman, papa, à famille. Là, le Timoun a joué, il retire lui-même. Tout ça, c'est de signes alarmants. Pour contacter pédiatre, pour pédiatre ou spécialiste, pour faire observation, pour bon on diagnostic. Et Kounyeyan, ou ka, plus bonheur, ou ka commencer à faire évaluation autisme à l'âge de 18 mois. Donc, jeunes parents qui appellent à enceinte, ou bien jeunes parents, il faut nous veiller développement petit nous. Ça, si nous fait à 6 mois, ça le fait à 12 mois, ça le fait à 18 mois. Si nous avons des signes alarmants, partagez tout de suite avec pédiatre nous. Parce que je me dis que c'est pas une maladie, hein. Jusqu'à présent, il y a beaucoup de gens qui guérissent de l'autisme. Nous avons autisme ou pas autisme encore. Mais ça nous connaît avec un pile thérapie, puis bonheur, puis bon, avec un pile thérapie, nous parlons petit tout le plus indépendant que possible. Et en pile thérapie tout, il y a des parents qui disent petit ou pas autisme encore. Martine, je ne t'entends pas. Mbana dono Martine.
Vous entendez Kounia?
Oui, Kounia m'entend très bien. Comme par contre, mesdames, si nous devons avancer dans le diagnostic de la communauté noire, ou bien n'a pas rentrer dans le diagnostic là, qui est très important pour nous dans la communauté.
Ça me pas dire qu'on y a bonne raison, l'homme dit que ça que nous devons c'est ou même qui peut définir. So ouais, là qu'on y là on va quitter rien pour dire encore là. To say you're the expert at it. We're the educators. We deal, we teach them, and you're more of the expert that are, with the therapy and everything else that comes with it. Okay, so that what your definition was very good. Et c'est un créole qu'on dit, c'est sûr et certain que quand pile parents qui tendent et qui sortent, et sont et c'est un autism is it's actually, like you said, it's a developmental disorder, okay, so that impairs the ability to communicate and to interact. Okay, that's really actually what it is. For the people that are actually listening in English. Okay, so now let's go to the experiences. Okay, for our educators that are here, I'll start off with you, Alberta, so that you can tell me some of the experiences that you've had with some of the students, and then we'll take it a little further. Okay.
As far as my experiences in the classroom, I have worked with nonverbal and also verbal students who are on the spectrum. The spectrum goes from high to as low as low can be. They are students in the classroom who are able to thrive academically, but some don't have the same strength. They have more needs than others, and you are able to identify some. I'm not an expert, but I've worked with a lot of students with autism. They don't interact socially. Socially, they are a lot of times spend time by themselves. They like a routine. They like the same thing. Like I have a student right now. She has the same sweater. It's not because she's clean. She always comes to school nicely dressed, but that sweater is her comfort zone. She wears that sweater all the time. And when asked for her to remove it, and she gets a little bit upset. So you have to know the student and know what to ask them and what not to ask them. So as educators, what our responsibility is to create an inclusive classroom for all kids with needs, especially those with autism. I've worked with students in the EBD classroom, emotional behavior disorder, where they have autism and a little bit more aggressive. You just have to know, and as Madame Alexandre dit, faut connaître ti moun nan, et ou qui parent, ti moun nan passe plus temps avec ou, c'est ou même qui connaît ça ti moun nan fait, ça ti moun nan pas ka fait. So a lot of times we see signs, but we can communicate that to the parents, but however, it's the parents' responsibility to kind of check with their pediatrician. Depending on your relationship with the parent, you know what, based on what I see, I would advise you or to check with the pediatrician to see if there's something, if there's something going on with so-and-so. So, educators, we just have to know our kids, we know our student, and we provide a safe environment for them. And if you know that this child doesn't like to be hugged, to be touched, or, certain things, you just don't do it. And I have students, I need to have a visual schedule for them on their desk so they know, because once something, the on bagay changer, gon changement dans classe là, yo changer tout. Si m'a gon substitute teacher, I make sure that I have the same people who knows my students in the classroom who are capable by you the accommodations that they need in the classroom. So, my experiences, and I have a lot of students, as I was talking to Martine earlier today, where I have a lot of students that are on my caseload. However, I think I have a lot of undiagnosed students who look that they could be on the spectrum. It's not labeling, but as you see the kid and see their interaction, they don't play with anybody on the playground. They go and play with sticks every day. Like something is not functioning correctly. And the parents, c'est ça pour nous sensibiliser. Haïtien parce que il parfois ils disent quoi ça ti moun nan li pas bah li bien oui li ceci li cela you just have to rendre ça bonheur puis bonheur ou prend ça plus opportunité ti moun nan gagner to thrive and be independent.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We're going to go to Lucienne. We need your experiences and what do you have to say pertaining to autism awareness?
Absolutely. As a special needs preschool teacher working at Sheltering Arms with DeKalb County Schools, my caseload is only 6 kids. Currently, I have 2. And the rest of my students are all inclusion, and it's co-teaching model. What I advise to all parents, have your child diagnosed early. What do I mean by that? Your pediatrician. And also you have your school district as well that can evaluate your child. There's a program called Babies Can't Wait. You can start with that as well. Babies Can't Wait ka vini yo evaluate ti bébé sous système. Élèves qui me travaillent avec yo gen yon ki autistic et puis gen yon ki SLD, specific learning disability. SSD, sorry. Saki autistic la, she's brilliant. Ou met bali n'importe livre, la lil pou. Mais gon bagay ki challenging pour li. C'est à faire écrit. Writing is not her thing. Même pour le Québec, yon fouchette, son gros bagay lié pour li. Depuis commencement année, mois d'août, nous détecter problème là. Moi le district là, which is my lead teacher, and I told her there's a student I'm seeing some, challenges with her writing. What can we do? She said she needs to have her IEP amended. Ça veut dire pour nous retourner back sous table pour nous faire une réunion, pour nous laisser parler connaître, faut que les joignent evaluation pour writing. Vérité, she got evaluated. She's getting OT services, which is occupational therapy. Right now, we're seeing progress. So, timon ki autistic somewhere, gon kote yo don, yo gon cadeau, et puis ge kote ki ge Challenges are the aggressiveness. Let timon na very aggressive. Timon sa yo peut-être yo pas vinn joindre na classroom na. The least restricted environment. M'pa comment yo dit ça en créole. Yeah. Sorry. Once the kid is very, very aggressive, one classroom qui est self-contained. Ça veut dire qu'il y a presque 3 professeurs dans la classroom, peut-être un professeur avec paraprofessionals qui là. Peut-être capable de 5 élèves ou 4 élèves. Mais tout plus fort, c'est censé même behavior, you're very aggressive, you voyez bagay sou, you goumavo, you get problem avec tout ça yo way besoin briser. So, samedi kadi, jouer avec docteur pour yo évaluer si moun yo très bon. Li important.
Okay. That's very Can I just say something? And then, tankou Gaslin di, mwen get si moun ki nan 2nd grade class, mwen ki I believe at a 5th grade level. However, yo pa kompren sa yo li ya. Yo just li and they able to decode multi-syllabic words that I'm like, how do you know this word? And then, but okay, where is the setting? Qui côté histoire ça a passé? Li prend yon en pile, like, there's a lot of repetition of directions et a lot of prompts pour me dire, okay, pour dire question, many different ways for them to understand. So the comprehension part is one of the things that they struggle with.
Okay, so nous parler rapide encore, Yveline. We're going to talk about the diagnostics part of it, and then I'll do my issue, and then we also have another parent. Nous avons parents souligne tout, qu'il y a deux petits moun that has autism, so we're going to make it a little short, because of the time. So Yveline.
Bon une sorte de hypnosis ça de mesdames yo dit Alberta et Lucienne. Songez que me dit nous une caractéristique quand qui vient autisme c'est repetitive behavior. Alberta fait ce dit nous là. Tout le monde n'a pas propre mais décoller sous souhaitel il pas décoller. Et gain de leur journée en rad, gain de leur journée en chanter, gain de leur journée en manger. On tout le monde doit faire année la manger seul bagage. Donc mais comment yo coller ensuite là où changer li très important pour ti moun qui gen autisme yo confortable structure créée pour yo la routine yo donc on dit ti moun rentre en classe ça li rentre pas qui sous côté à 8h30 chaque jour c'est Alberta l'important si demain yo fait rentrer l'autre porte son l'autre pour y rencontrer c'est monde di carrément qui dégaille donc si moun qui gen autisme très confortable en routine yo la routine yo déranger yo pas de comportement. Donc, encore, toujours dit parents, chaque fois qu'il y a un bagage qui est différent de routine, tout le monde qui a autisme, annoncer ça d'abord. Prévention. Ensuite, Alberta dit high functioning.
Okay, go ahead.
Alberta dit high functioning, low functioning. Communauté autistique qui ça dit high functioning n'a pas oublié c'est spectre de l'autisme le plus souvent sortare le qui high functioning c'est ça qui rend Asperger syndrome yo parler yo tout et puis bien ça qui gain autisme qui ça nous dit nous même gain de moun autistique qui besoin plus support gain l'autre qui pas besoin pile gain l'autre qui besoin en pile support donc c'est ça dans trois catégories ça now même le petit moun a joué dans l'autre bagaille ou ka wè différent yo sur la récréation yo pour compio yo até après ramasser n'importe petit bout de bois believe me tout ça qui aux alentours yo pas intérêt à avoir yo vraiment prêter attention aux détails et yo gain en mémoire c'est peut-être ça pas quelle compagnie qui fait pièces computer c'est pour Microsoft yo employé un paquet monde qui dans le spectre de l'autisme moi visiter une compagnie qui fait pièces électroniques Staten Island monsieur un couple là yo gain deux monde qui gain autisme compagnie a gain 50 monde qui pas autisme dans compagnie c'est monsieur et madame. Vraiment pour qui ça lui dit moun qui gen autisme tellement fait attention aux détails si pièce ça au tout petit quel que soit tié ou si pièce donc pour dire même là où est semblé pour côté pas interactif mieux qu'on tout ça l'autre on a fait sous côté pour gain mémoire ensuite Lucienne parlait de nous parlons de diagnostic là Lucienne dit agressivité ça me toujours dit le plus souvent ça trigger agressivité c'est sous-charge sensorielle. Pas oublier de dire que sens qui est affecté. Imaginez que on monde tout sens est affecté, il rentre dans la salle, plusieurs monde a parlé, la job joué, ou chien jappé, et que des cette parfum qui dérange, des émotions qui dérange, il faut que même pour prendre sens proprioceptif et cognitif. Donc là c'est comme si soit agression, monde qui sensible, c'est comme si soit agression, il besoin ou qu'on arrive souvent leur situation c'est comme courir la mort sauver gagner nous par exemple nous va non mol continue pour la pique la morder et puis son situation sensorielle il n'a pas comprendre qui ça c'est ça fait toujours dit de pour identifier problème sensoriel petit ou qui gen autisme gagné ou quand on résout un paquet de problèmes. Ensuite, parce que c'est agressivité kounya on allait dans diagnostic dans communauté nous. Lucienne dit bah conseil parents lors de bagaille courir alcaï spécialiste pour qu'on ait salié. Là que mon test grossesse, ma pas de parents là. Là mon test grossesse, ou après si mon a des cheveux, la bien de papa, la bien intelligence matante, pas jamais rêver à fond dans le spectre de l'autisme ou bien qui gagne aucune autre disabilité. Donc kounya ça arrive par parents, instinct maternel, si mon a développé ou sentiment qui passe ça, et pour qu'on peut chercher qu'on est. Pourquoi c'est ça? Pourquoi c'est ça? Pourquoi? Bon temps pour moi-même, j'ai diagnostic petit à 2 ans. Là, il y a 2 ans. Ça veut dire, m'a dit, pourquoi c'est pas ça? Il n'y a rien. Petit peu pas rien connecté avec moi, parce qu'il est attaché avec moi seulement. Le papa est indifférent avec moi, pour ne pas faire. Jusqu'à ce que moi, elle prend un diagnostic. Donc, si je dis que prendre un diagnostic n'est pas facile, ou bien doit aller combien toute la communauté noire, ou aller au pédiatre, je suspecte petit marché sous point de pied, pas jamais mettre un pied la tête. Puis, on traite avec tout le monde qui gagne autisme. Et puis, peut-être, c'est pour pédiatre femme dans le dit en Haïti. Ah, je n'ai pas parlé de petit de marché sous point de pied, tout, c'est pas rien. Parents veulent dire nous, là que nous-mêmes, nous continuons, et c'est maternel, les quand on pédiatre, nous dit pédiatre en plusieurs fois, mais ça me remarque, mais ça, si nous n'avons pas gagné, tombe toujours. Achetons l'autre pédiatre. En même temps, tous parents, nous pas de paranoïa pendant ma tombe non. Oh, nous te donnons madame Yveline, oui, puis si ça va parler de autisme, nous pas qu'à paranoïa. Parce que combien de petits monde qui gagne retard de langage, ça pas veut dire que dans le spectre de l'autisme. Donc, pour me couronner ça, avant de traverser notre diagnostic, croyance nous, songez que la neige qui a tombé, chaque fois qu'on est unique. C'est comme ça, autisme. Autisme, c'est autisme, mais chaque petit est unique. Il y a deux traits semblables, vraiment, mais chaque unique ne change pas. Donc, on y a, l'orphine pour un diagnostic, vous pas vrai? Ça peut arriver, si c'est maman seulement qui prend un diagnostic, ou bien si c'est papa seulement, premièrement, vous regardez l'autre suspect. Quand vous regardez ça sorti, est-ce que c'est quand monsieur ou bien c'est quand madame? Là, on y a, on va dire que c'est loi qui fait ça, c'est loi pas manger. Si bien c'est jeune ou pas fait. Ah, parce que à fond dernier jeune 40 jours pas aller, c'est ça qui cause ça. Ou du moins, c'est le jeune va faire l'empire la vierge ou bien le peut-être. Donc c'est ça, ils ont adossé le plus souvent à de l'autre croyance. Et puis, mes côtés stigmatisation commencé. Et nous jouons pile cas malgré m'a dit de papa, super papa, moi connais tout, mais nous jouons pile cas que le plus souvent, papa occupé quand là, il pas de bail comme ça la famille. Il pas le temps donc c'est donc pas héréditaire, mais c'est pas tout ça seulement. Le plus souvent, le jour, pas héréditaire, plus aller sortir sous mon papa. C'est pas tout quand je l'ai. Donc, mais l'organe diagnostic après ça pour commencer à sortir de à la bataille pour petit tout.
OK. Nous avons l'autre parent qui souligne non. Va connaître est-ce que le souligne non et c'est Anthony.
Dame Yveline décortiquer autisme. Très, très bien.
Okay,
Très
good. Hello, Anthony, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're well. Yes, and I understand that you're a parent of autistic children.
Yes, I have two.
Introduce yourself. Yes,
Yes, my name is Anthony Hart. I live in, of course, Dallas, Georgia. I have two children that have autism. I have a son that's now 23 and my daughter is now 21. They both, one graduated from North Cobb High School and the other one from Alatoona High School up here in Cobb County. We're originally from Florida. They were diagnosed at a young age. They got a lot of services down in Florida. Of course, in my opinion, as a parent, Florida was or is a lot further along in autism than Georgia is, unfortunately, as far as the services available. So when we were in Florida, they were already getting, occupational therapy, physical therapy, stuff like that at an early age when they were in elementary schools before we moved up here in 2010. So they got a lot of different services down there that had them further along than some of the students that I saw when we brought them up here to Georgia. But yeah, they're both. I guess you could say they're more on the high functioning side of the spectrum. They're pretty independent. They can stay home alone. They can use simple things like the microwave, the air fryer, stuff like that. But I was kind of listening. I kind of heard someone say about the routine and they don't really like change. They like certain things and the limited diets, stuff like that. All of that is true. Both of my kids, they have certain palates where they like certain things, and as long as I have those things here, they're good. They don't really need much, but they do have their comfort zones and what they like and what they don't like. And that's things that I learned as a father as they were growing up.
So are they able to, like you said, they stay home alone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
So are they working? Do they work?
No, they're not working. They're pretty comfortable in their environment. The thing is that they're not socially mature. So as far as, like if I take them out, most people won't even realize that they have autism unless they really pay close attention to our interactions. But if you were to see them walking around, you would think they were normal, children.
And that's my last question to you. Yeah. What advice or what would you say to other parents that are listening to you that have they're actually basically adults right now? You know what I mean? So you had to deal with this from a younger age up until now, and you're still dealing with it, and most likely you'll deal with it for the rest of their lives.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I want to interject, from a different perspective, is that I do have two basically adults. So what parents need to understand is that if your child is autistic, once they turn 18, in the eyes of the state, they are adults. So when it comes to their decision making, their health care, all those type of things, if they're not able to make those decisions on their own, and that as a parent, then the best thing to do is what I did was when they got ready to turn 18, about 6 months before they turned 18, I went to the probate court, and you have to get guardianship for your children. You have to be able to make those decisions for them, because I also work in healthcare. So I do nuclear medicine at one of the major hospitals, and when it comes to healthcare decisions, once they're 18, technically they don't have to listen to the parents. So you need that security to make sure people are doing the best things for your children. That's definitely advice that I would that's definitely something that I would recommend. And then as far as financially, that's the other thing. Most children with autism, if the parents go get services for them, either SSI or some type of government assistance for them, when we all leave here, as a parent with children, that are on the spectrum, if I leave here, I want to make sure that my kids are taken care of. So my assets, my home, my life insurance policies, things like that, you have to make sure that it's going to be used the right way for your children. And the way to do that is to go get a special needs trust, which I did that. So you get a special needs trust where you make sure you spell out exactly what's going to happen, in the event that you pass on, with your life insurances, with your property, with your bank accounts. And you have to get people that you can trust, because you have to have someone first in line and someone second in line that's going to be able to execute that special needs trust in the event that you pass on. And
These
those
are
are
all
definitely two.
great information that we need. And as educators as well, we deal with that too. Sometimes when the child is not diagnosed and it takes a long time for them to be tested in the schools, sometimes the parents are lost, and especially that they don't have an advocate to, to speak for them. And a lot of parents are very lost when it comes to that. So there goes again, it comes to be for them to be educated on what to do when it comes to having a child that's autistic. It's a lot. It's very
Yeah,
involved, and especially when dealing with the law. You know what I mean? Like you just said, once you turn 18, it's still 18 whether you have autistic, you're autistic or not. So 18 is 18 in the United States. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for that information. And we're going to go back to Yveline. And we don't have that long, Yveline. So let's
what Mr. Hart say, Martine. Most of the time you hear children with autism, and they forget the children become adults. Like I say, Mr. Hart, I have 27 years old. Now, I have a parent one morning call me, Madam Yveline, my son went to the doctor, he need to take that shot, and the doctor say no. Why did the doctor say no? Because your son said no, and your son is 18, he's an adult. So, like Mr. Hart said, this is very important. 6 months before the child turns 18, get to your case manager to get the guardianship. If not, your child is 18, say, oh, I want to stay home by myself. Martin gave me $10,000, I'm going to throw it away. He's an adult. You cannot say no. This is very, very important. And Mr. Hart said, and I always encourage parents to go walk to store, little shop, because maybe your child may be able to work, but you need supervision. So me, what I did, in fact, I have the opportunity to live in 4 states. So I know it was in 4 states, among them Georgia. What I did in South Carolina, I went to small shops and tell them, I need my child to volunteer here. I can stay with her to supervise. Get the child accustomed to wake up in the morning, get ready to go to work. So that's being a sense of responsibility for the child, and that's been a lot of confidence. She know, the child know, I'm going out, I'm going to work, because the child always likes see mommy and daddy go to work. And that, we focus on fixing the child. There's nothing to fix. There's something to face, which is autism. Now, while you're working on the weakness, focus on the potential. Maybe he can cook. Maybe he can clean. Maybe he loves dog. Maybe he can paint. Maybe he can sing. So, my story. The ladies know my brother. She was when I was in Georgia. Exactly. So I never pay attention to her acting until COVID. So focus, work on the weakness, focus also on the potential. You might have a cook in the house. You might have a singer or a piano player. Focus always, look for the potential. The child, and
Yveline, I need you to tell everyone actually what your daughter is doing right now. Okay, that's very important for the world to know, because we're going from one extreme to the other, and this is a happy extreme, because you went through it. I know your story was phenomenal, and now it's ending actually a success story when it comes to your daughter. So let the world know what
if I go now, Martin, if I go and tell her that after, if I go and tell her what Martin said about her, la marche de tout reste maintenant là. What my daughter craft. She loves art and craft, and when the school, as a matter of fact, if you go to North Spring High School on Roswell, in the ceiling there's a painting of my daughter in her class. So she always have aptitude for that, and I never pay attention. They send me like something from it's nice, and I keep it out for a couple of days and I put it inside a box. I never pay attention to that until COVID. People cannot travel or anything, and she started like being, first she start having behavior. Like I'm talking to her, she's not answering. Sometimes she stay in a bedroom. She was having a depression, and then one day she's epileptic also. She have a couple of crises, epilepsy. So and I was sad, I was scared. I said, okay, I have to get her to do something. And she was painting. I said, you know what? Let me buy some tube of paint and two canvas and see. And then she did a painting, and she called it the river. I don't know why. And at the same time, University of South Florida and the Center for Autism and Related Disabilities called, they were doing a virtual exhibition. I sent the picture, the painting. Among 150 artists with autism, they choose her. And that's how it started. And then right away, University of Miami contact me. They want her to participate in a show at the Bourgeois Center for Performing Art. And since then, and then she exhibit in a gallery in New York. She exhibit at the African American Museum in New York, and she's been going on. That's why I say look on the potential, because that's why can make your child financially independent. Now, there's a very important. Let me. When I say that, This is very important. I want to say that you were talking about special needs trust, able account. You were talking guardianship. The child, what you do, you can look among best friend, family. What I do, I create a system support. I'm a single parent. I may take a decision for my daughter. It's not the right decision. But if I have a system support of people I know who care for her too, family or friend, so when I take a decision for her, I have 5 other person I have to go and ask if they all agree. So that's the thing. So you, my child, if you want to know more about her, she's on Instagram at Kayali Studio, and she have a website. Check her out, and she take order. You can order. This is Mother's Day coming. You're welcome to order from her. She's ready.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're going to wrap it up, and then right now we're going to get the last word from each of us. Okay, we're going to start with you, Alberta. Last word, real quick.
Okay, as an educator, it's our responsibility, as I said before, to promote inclusion in the classroom, to knowing that all students are capable, regardless of their disability. They are valuable citizens, and we need to unlock their potential, make them comfortable. If we see something, we can collaborate with the parent, because a lot of times, I know it's a little iffy with parents not willing to collaborate with teachers, but the kids spend a lot of time with us during the day, and sometimes they go home, the parents are not even there, they just go to bed. So we see them, we have a lot of experience with them, so our responsibility as teachers, educators, parents, we need to collaborate so we can help them get the proper services that they need and to function in society. And when we have kids, when we help shape kids, they become better citizens in the society. And we teach them to be compassionate towards each other. Like in my room, I teach other kids, I say, so-and-so need help. I need you to be her buddy. You need to help her. She's your responsibility. And sometimes I joke with them. I say, I think I need to give you a portion of my check. But they are passionate. They take care of the others. And that's what we need in society.
And you know what I wanna add, what Alberta said, parent, like I think Lucienne said that parent, you gotta be involved. This is your most precious thing. Not a lot of us have plane or castle, right? Or boat. This is our most precious thing. You gotta be involved. Close that door, keep knocking. What I see, unfortunately, since I left Georgia, there's not one autism awareness work Asian are involved in it. Right? We have to do something. You're not waiting on Alberta. Alberta, Martine, Lucienne, they come along with you, parent. But parent, you have to take the initiative. And then now that's another thing. Alberta is in your child is in Alberta or Lucienne classroom. They don't know your child better than you. You have to tell them, my child love this, my child don't love this, because the educator and the parent is a team for the well-being of your child. So you all have to work together.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Last word from Mrs. Bourgeois.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hart, for sharing your story. Thank you, Madam Yveline, for sharing your story about your precious children, adults now. Do know, as a teacher, I love my students. I love my field. I love what I do. What I do with my parents, they have my cell phone number. They have my email. They can contact me up until 8:00 p.m. To ask any questions, anything, in regards to the IEP. The IEP is the document that we follow to ensure that child's education. With that being said, we don't have to call for a meeting. The parent can call for a meeting as well. If there's something that they would like to add or take out or come to the table to find out more, please call for an IEP. And also check your local districts. They do evaluations. It's faster through the parent versus us teachers taking data and 6 weeks collections for us to come to the table and then for us to, sit as a committee to say your child needs to be evaluated. You can take the first steps. Take your child to the doctor, go to your district, have them tested. Mr. Hart, thank you.
What I want to, Martin, let me add something on. Martin, let me add something on what Lucienne say. Lucienne said something about IEP. If you're a believer parent, the IEP is your Bible. Bon comparer IEP, toujours dit IEP c'est pas que c'est constitution liée. What everything your child need. For example, if today your child have his first epilepsy seizure, you have to let the school know. Everything is important, gotta be in the IEP. You can say something, and I used to do it like en soudine. Je cherche ses amis tout parents, tout professeur petit point. Ou jusqu'au mien, boss driver, ses amis tout. The boss company, I know everything. Lucienne say something, she's available, a cell phone number to 8:00. Parents bon di nou bagay, professeur yo la ave nou. Mais petit nan c'est petit nou. Les paroles s'en vont, les écritures restent. Ça veut dire, quel que soit sordi à l'école là, ou ta non réunion, m'bral di nou ki façon diplomatique pour faire li. You go to a meeting, right, with the school, then pou ka gen preuve, ou écrit yo. It was nice to meet you at this meeting, mais ça ne te parle, mais ça ne te parle. You're not crazy. Because if you don't do that, something happen, premier ça l'école la bral mande, nous pas de document, non côté de dire ça. Tout ça nous fait un professeur, qu'un beau contact écrit tout. Donc, c'est très important.
Thank you. Very important. Last word, real quick, Mr. Hart. Thank you so much for actually sharing your story with us as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks to the panel for letting me be a part of it. It was my pleasure. Like everybody's been saying, the IEP is very important. The other thing is like the teacher, I think it's Lucienne said, the parents have to be involved, and you can call those meetings. And when you go to those IEPs, make sure you're understanding what they're supposed to be going over with your child. And that way, if you know that your child can do better than that IEP is saying, you put that in there and have the teachers do more than what the IEP is telling them that they're going to work on. Because we used to do that with our kids. We knew they could do certain things, and then the IEP would say, we're going to do 50% of this. And I'll be like, no, they can do 80% or they
Yes.
can do 90% of this. You have to be involved in that IEP where you're actually reading it and you're understanding what the teachers are trying to teach your child. And you can also, have some input on that also.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you everyone. So m'a juste by dernier petit mot pam nan et dernier petit mot pam en créole pour
Martine, avant, Martine, I would like to stay in touch with Mr. Hart. I don't know if we can stay connected because we are minority. So the battle is for us, for our children. I would like to stay
We'll
in
give
touch
you
with
his
you.
information afterwards.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
so
definitely.
much.
Yes, definitely. I would like to be connected to.
Once again, pour parents haïtiens yo, m'da souhaité que nous te content de toute information ça yo que nous te gagné pour autisme non et on se bagage que m'a dit et nous tande que yo parler de IEP souvent et IEP m'a juste dit nous que c'est on sort de pour une petite description c'est ça y aurait les et document que ti moun nan ki gen disability autism nan c'est avec lui que yo servi dans l'école là c'est comme si Jean Yveline so dit c'est comme si c'est bible là c'est pas gen rien que ti moun nan besoin et when it comes to IEP ou bien si un problème c'est dans IEP que yo garder yo diriger tout ça que ti moun nan besoin pour yo faire pour lui son bagage qui très important ça c'est un deuxièmement encore d'arrêt pour me dire parents yo OK faites très attention depuis le nous enceinte OK le nous enceinte le nous fait ti moun nan et pour nos petits gens parce que c'est là le problème n'a commencé yo comme dit que c'est jusqu'à 2 ans je crois que et ou ka vinn révéler que ti moun nan is diagnosed avec autisme nan OK so ça me veut dire parents qui ont bagage qui très 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 important et Jean Alberta avec Lucienne t'a dit ti moun nan c'est pas nous que yo yé OK et affaire de le ti moun parce que là temps ça a passé c'est temps Haïti le ti moun te kon gen problème et nous dit que c'est m'a dit carrément c'est loi c'est méchanceté c'est un tel qui fait c'est tombé papa te comme ça, li pas gagné, genre de bagay ça yo pour le moment là qu'on est là c'est pour nous suspendre yo parce que ti moun nan c'est ça le plus souvent que c'est ça que li gagne vraiment et autisme nan et puis nous même nous quitter l'aller et puis le quitter l'aller li vinn grave, devine plus grave pour nous parce que là qu'on y a ti moun nan vinn développer un sens de behavior issue. OK, ça veut dire que ti moun nan vinn soit la mal élevé, la crier et on comprend li pas normal pour ti moun nan. OK, so c'est un bagage pour nous prendre très précaution avec le que ti moun nan gon bagay la plupart font bagay qui normal même avec l'autre ti moun et puis nous connaît que gagne le parents ti gens sensible pour petite li of course pas gon parent qui t'a remet que ti moun nan gagne rien ça c'est sûr et certain mais ça pas empêcher tout que pour bail et pour alcaï docteur tout pour dire et docteur mais ça que ouais que ti moun n'a fait. OK, so c'est ça que m'da dit et parents haïtiens yo connait là pour yo pas essayer à faire de dit ti moun nan pas gagné et maman t'es comme ça papa t'es comme ça ou bien c'est ça que fait me dit bagay loi parce que le plus souvent c'est ça que nous toujours tendez. Ouais, c'est loi qui fait ça, c'est quelques zombies que li gen sous li. Genre de conversation ça yo petit gens old yo j'essaie pour nous suspendre yo et ça qui arrive vraiment mais le plus souvent là c'est pour nous chercher un médecin pour nous ti moun nan pour nous ti moun nan chercher cause là pour ti moun nan ça mieux
vraie cause là
c'est ça que m'ta remet dit vraie cause là comme mon dernier mot. OK, so m'a dit tout le monde merci et merci encore
Martine nous pouvons aller
oh wow on va faire mettre dehors Yveline
non pas mettre dehors Martine 1 minute non moi ouais Boubloule moi voulais dire comme ça que parents diagnostic le diagnostic all this happen in minorities right resource services et pour le nouvelle ici dans la communauté noire là nous mettons projeté en tout qui ça dans la caille nous pour autisme so autism 509 nous avons plateforme importante Autism 509 will be at the UN tomorrow at 7 o'clock to address autism. It's going to be me as a parent from Haiti and 2 other parents from Dominican Republic and Somalia. We need to address that too. Autism is still autism in the minorities. So stay with Autism 509 page and Meli Melo, you will get in and then you will be able to sign on, because when you don't show up, they speak and they decide for you. So you need to show up. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll put it. I have the flyer, so I'll post it for you. That's no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and stay tuned for another segment. Okay, with our guest Natasha Alcindor. Thank you.
Fan de la musique haïtienne, sit back and relax.
Meli Melo Show
A informé de tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là. Music, analyse, actualité, promotion, interview, spotlight, collaboration, live performance, fan Q&A, history, mainstream. Get all that.
Have you ever found yourself embarking on a new construction or renovation project only to feel overwhelmed by the lack of expertise and time to manage it effectively? The solution you've been seeking is right here. I am Sabine Apollon, the founder and CEO of Aniba Consulting, with over 2 decades of experience in design, construction, and commercial real estate. I'm your dedicated partner in success. I'll assist you in identifying and navigating the intricate details of your project, dealing with local jurisdictions, coordinating with general contractors and subcontractors, even managing schedules and budgets. It all can become daunting and time-consuming. At Aniba Consulting, we specialize in making projects small or complex, manageable, and stress-free. We act as your advocates throughout the entire process, safeguarding both your financial and personal interests. Helping you deliver your perfect project is our top priority. Together, we will bring your vision to life.
Employee lawsuits can be emotionally draining, financially devastating, and oftentimes can be avoided through management training and ensuring you have risk mitigation processes in place that alert you of potential human resource issues. At the Gene Consulting Group, we help you take a proactive approach to how you do business. We do this by providing responsive, legal, and HR services tailored for you. Our services are on demand, on your terms, and transparent. You get a trusted advisor and partner who can execute across multiple lanes for a fraction of the cost. We help you maintain an engaged workforce while staying in compliance and avoiding costly litigation so that you can focus on what you do best, and that's growing your business. To learn how you can take a proactive approach to how you do business, please visit sandraljean.com.
Moi, c'est Darlene Joseph. Moi, suis un realtor, real estate broker avec Inspirational Homes dans Georgia. Moi, j'ai un pile année depuis que j'ai aidé les gens à acheter, vendre et investir dans le caille. Yo relem realtor communautaire. Si vous Florida, vous pensez pour venir Georgia, il y a un pile option pour vous. Tant qu'une option dans la communauté ça que nous prenons. Nous connaissons que Georgia a un gros caille. Si vous pensez pour un gros caille par là, contactez Darlene Joseph avec Inspirational Home à 678 613 75 76. Encore, c'est dans 678 613 75 76. Ou capable de joindre moi sur tous les réseaux sociaux, sur Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, moi là comme Sold by Darlene. Contactez-moi et m'appelez joindre Kai Paola.
Grand-papa, compagnie manger officielle Diaspora haïtienne. 100%
Haïtien, son compagnie qui a fait effort pour faire économie Haïti, maman Haïti, brassé. Et puis grand-papa, un paquet de différents produits de qualité, blé ak pitimi, pour moun qui fait sikyo, maï moulin. Et puis pois Congo, si pois Congo jaune là, c'est le grand-papa gagne qui sont Haïti tête droite. Lalo, Jonjon, Jumango, et puis superstar grand-papa, du riz grand-papa, basmati, du riz jasmine, c'est pas du riz chemical qui fait mon malade là, non? Grand-papa, oui, yon qualité sans pareil. Ou ka imiter, mon pape jamais gali. Grand-papa, oui, et puis nous compte bagay là déjà, wap manger en pépon.
Suivez tous les lundis de 6h à 8h p.m. Meli Melo Show à Penkita. Meli Melo is a captivating 2-hour talk show. Meli Melo est une émission socio-culturelle animée par une équipe dynamique et professionnelle. Toutes les informations, sport, entertainment, musique, toutes les dernières infos sur l'industrie de la musique haïtienne de New York à Miami, from Boston to Atlanta. Tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là, wap tandel sous Meli Melo Show. Meli Melo is live on YouTube and Facebook every Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir. C'est un plaisir encore pour nous retrouver nous à soir dans le deuxième segment ça, côté que nous pourrons parler de un segment capable vraiment intéressant. Et c'est pour une des raisons que à soir là, nous menons on monde qui compte chorus ensemble avec nous dans Meli Melo en parlant de Anne-Christie Penkita et Madame Saad qui vraiment font belle époque avec Meli Melo. Tout le monde toujours demandé pour lui. À soir nous retrouver Anne. Sujet ça sont sujet qui doit fait entre nous-mêmes Penko, Rupipa et Anne-Christie. Et je me rappelle que les confrères m'ont essayé de contacter et Natasha Alcindor pour te parler de sujet ça que nous parlons parler à soir en parlant de Penko. Et nous connaissons qu'il n'a pas envie encore. Et c'est pour une des raisons que Anne a bouche souvent que l'été dit nous, l'état aimé participer à soir pour être capable de parler de sujet ça. Nous pourrons dire Anne, bonsoir, bon retour. Nous ne pouvons pas dire ou bien non, ou pas, non? Au studio de Meli Melo, dans Radio Grâce, c'est un plaisir que vous nous gagnons à soir. Anne, bonsoir, comment est-ce?
Bonsoir tout le monde, Meli Melo. Bonsoir Boubloule, bonsoir Rupipa, bonsoir tout le monde qui est dans le studio. Moi, vraiment content avec nous. Et moi, content que nous réussissions à reconnecter par rapport à un sujet qui est aussi important, je dis. Et moi aussi content que nous avons reconnecté sur un bagage que Penko t'es vraiment qui est bien à cœur. Et je connais tous ces fêtes Meli Melo. Donc, ça veut dire c'est vraiment un jour qui est vraiment spécial pour nous toutes. OK? Donc, moi, content là, et moi, content avec Natasha, je dis, pour nous faire une conversation qui pral, d'ailleurs, que nous toutes nous rester à l'écoute, d'ailleurs, que nous toutes nous prêter attention, et d'ailleurs, que nous toutes nous vécons nous, pour nous comprendre ça, sous ça, nous allons parler là, je dis.
Bon, comme deuxième host Meli Melo, Natasha me dit bienvenue, parce que c'est son rendez-vous. On est qui prend longtemps pour l'accomplir. Bon, à l'honneur de mon cher ami Penko, nous pas de cas passer date ça, nous pas de cas passer occasion ça pour nous te font parler avant. Alors, mets-toi à l'aise, ou la caillou, ou nous regardez où, présente-toi.
Ok, moi-même c'est Natasha Alcindor. Jodi am vini là, bon, c'est yon ti jan triste pour moi, ben, m content là, jodi a que m capable vinn parler des sujets, un peu de sujets que nous-mêmes dans la communauté haïtienne, que nous pas prend au sérieux, mais di fait en pile dans la communauté haïtienne. So, quand y a jodi a m besoin vinn parler pour moun capable comprendre que gen des bagay qui passé pour nous-mêmes haïtiens, pour nous prendre au sérieux. Et surtout, les petites nous parlent ensemble avec nous, dit nous quelle série de bagailles. Faut nous comprendre, faut nous capables d'écouter petites nous. So, aujourd'hui, je suis bien content là, bien regrette que Penko pas de là ensemble avec nous parce que ça, c'est un bagage qui était venu très longtemps, il était toujours si prié pour là et aujourd'hui, là, on connaît côté lien, il est vraiment content.
Et merci Natasha. Nous allons commencer là pour nous bailler quelques statistiques pour nous comprendre de qui ça n'a pas.
Exactement.
OK? Est-ce que nous connaissons que nous allons quelques statistiques pour nous vraiment capables ouais comment que ça n'a vivre là son bagage qui c'est pas un bagage qui simple. OK? Est-ce que nous connaissons que 20% de monde aux États-Unis ont abusé de eux sexuellement? Si nous prenons un petit temps pour nous réaliser ça, c'est-à-dire, là, on a fait la caille, nous inviter tout le monde, ou 10, 15 tout le monde. Essayez d'imaginer que sous chaque 5 qu'on a, il y a une possibilité que il y ait une qui a pas abusé. OK? Donc, ça, c'est un bagage que nous pas parler de lui assez. Est-ce que nous te connaissons tout que, malgré que moi, bah, nos statistiques, ça, est-ce que nous connaissons tout que, dans 95% des cas, si vous avez une éducation, si vous avez awareness là, si vous avez support là, bah, ça ne va pas priver. C'est-à-dire, conversation qu'on a fait là, on a essayé de garder que de un an, si c'est pour sous chaque 5 timons, ça arrivait. On graine, n'a parlé de 95%. Nous avons fait que nous arrivions sous chaque 100 timons, c'est 5 seulement ça arrivait. Donc, c'est pour ça qu'on a fait conversation ça. Natasha, son monde qui survivent, on bagaille comme ça dans la jeunesse. Donc, Natasha fait partie de monde. Étant pris, statistique que nous, et que m'banois, c'est pour des monde qui moins que 8 ans. Ça veut dire, soit regarder des monde autour de lui, il y a moins que 8 ans, il y a une, sous chaque 5, il y a une qui a abusé sexuellement. Essayez de comprendre que plus que 70% de ti monde, 80% de ti monde, c'est monde qui connaît ou qui fait ça. C'est-à-dire, ce n'est pas des petits gens qui marchent dans la rue, c'est des gens dans la caille, ça arrive. Donc, c'est dans ce sens que nous avons Natasha qui pourra partager avec nos expériences pâles en tant que une monde qui fait partie de statistiques. Ça. Donc, Natasha n'a pas entré d'emblée dans le sujet. Qui l'a ajouté gain, première fois que vous avez souffert d'un abus sexuel?
Et Anne, t'as souhaité que Anne mettez le comfortable tout parce que Natasha a plus parlé anglais.
Oh, Natasha, actually, yes. You know what? Actually, Natasha, you know, you're right. Let's take a whole step back. How old were you, Natasha, when you were first abused by, and you can tell us if within the statistics that I just shared, if it's somebody that you knew or if it was a complete stranger?
That started at the age of 5. It was by my cousin, which was older than me. So it started at the age of 5. At the time, being a 5-year-old, child, I wanted to say my cousin put me in a position to think that it was normal when it really wasn't normal. Every time I would question it or I would tell my mom and she would brush it off because my cousin was someone that she really cared about. So it started at the age of 5. So after that, it went on for a long time. But my mom was just like, she didn't believe me. So it was always a lie. So it went on until the age of actually 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I want to apologize parce que l'homme a faut recréer situation ça me connaissait is very painful. Vous comprenez? So we want to make sure that you're comfortable. Question seulement comme on est dit histoire là j'ai commencé. Basically, est-ce que c'est Haïti ou bien aux États-Unis ça arrive?
Bon, ça a fait Bahamas. C'est Bahamas. En fait, ça passe Freeport Bahamas.
Okay.
Which is U.S. territory, right?
No.
It's not?
No.
Okay.
Pas besoin de question pour là.
Non, parce que n'a dit mon par rapport à tout ça que Natasha pour monde qui pas vraiment parler anglais, il dit que à l'âge de 5 ans, ça a commencé joindre un monde qui était dans carré qui grandit dans carré ensemble avec là parlant de Bopeli qui était abusé sexuellement et c'est pendant que tu vivre à Bahamas ensemble avec maman et famille maman personnellement pas quoi dans ça que tu as dit et Anne qu'on a plus donné ou même qui fait conversation ensemble avec Natasha et qui plus détails que capable dire non et par rapport à petite conversation tu fait avec lui nous capable formuler questions et au fur et à mesure on a pas dans question ensemble avec lui.
Donc après ça étape par étape, Natasha abusée par un cousin de l'âge de 4
de cousin là par
So from the age of 5, so she was sexually abused by a cousin who was living in the home. And during that time, she did speak up. Some kids do not speak up. She did speak up, but her mother did not believe her. And that kept going on. How did this situation end? And then we'll move on to the second one.
Well, actually, how the situation ended, because I ended up moving from Miami. At the time, we left Bahamas and we moved here to Florida. We were in Miami, Florida. And when I moved from Miami, Florida, I went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So that's how that ended for, the cousin that was actually doing that to me.
So for the people who are listening, because again, I know that all these people who are listening, you guys have kids around you. So I want you to start thinking about the signs and what that looks like. What did that look like? When we say you were sexually, please, we don't need to necessarily, you can go as deep as you want. What does that look like? Meaning, was it you in the middle of the night or picking you up from school? What was the situation looking like, and how did you understand that this was actually happening to you?
Well, it happened, it was like a routine. So every day I came from school and it was like, you had to do this. And so, my life is not a secret because it's in a book as well. At that time I would come from school, and I would have to, my cousin would say, well, you would have to perform oral sex, but I'm like, no, I can't do this. And I remember not wanting to do it. And it became a threat where, if you don't do it, I'm going to tell your mom you did this and you did that. And so he was actually forcing me to do oral sex. And then he would also, start having sex with me. And he told me, well, this is normal. And if you don't like it, that's on you, but it's normal. So when I would, actually express myself to my mom, I'm like, this is what I do every day. And it was I had a time because it was like 3:00. Every time I got home, 3:00. And I remember after I showered, my cousin would be right there in the room just waiting. So
again, us parents who have family members, who has friends, and who has other people who live in the house with our children, what is telling me right now is I need to pay more attention to the people that I have around my kids, and to also be open to listening to when my kids is giving me feedback about that person. And what I'm hearing you say is when you gave the feedback, you were not heard. You were not believed.
So was your mother the only person that you had the ability of communicating with?
Yeah. I mean, as being a mom, I think I should trust my mom. So I would go back to the thing, that's
so should I assume there was no father figure in the house, correct?
No father figure, no.
Okay.
So did you have any other sibling, like brothers and other sisters?
Well, at the time, from like the age of 5 and until like 10, I had younger siblings, but they were like babies because they're in their 30s now and I'm 45, so they were like babies.
And please understand that these situations occur at an alarmingly higher rate when you are in a single family home. And people of color are twice as likely to be in a position that Natasha was in. And this conversation is happening with people of color. So this is our statistics. So this is us today. The people who are listening to us are mostly people of color. And so this is your statistics. Single family, I'm a single mom. So single family home, you leave your child with someone. My child is with someone else right now. I'm being real. So how do we keep our kids protected? And they say that prevention and teaching kids and making them aware of what that looks like would have made a bigger impact. But Natasha did not have people to talk to. So Woodsy made a point. Maybe start identifying other people that we can communicate with, right? We do tend to trust our caretakers, but maybe this is not okay. So now you move to Miami. So now you think, oh my God, I'm out of the situation. I'm finally safe. I'm finally going to have a life of normalcy. What happened next?
Well,
and how old were you?
At the age of 9, I moved to Fort Lauderdale. So here my mom had, a guy
she met, and they were living together. But being a child, you always want your mom. So my mom did leave me behind in Miami, and I found my way to my mom because I wanted to be with my mom. So now she's with this gentleman, and that's when the nightmare just started at the age of 10 up until 14.
And so what did that look like with him?
Now, being that I'm 10 years old, which is, I'm a child, and I was doing things that adults were doing, sexually, but he was doing to me, he was doing to me. And it was one of the things where I talked about it. I told my mom, and, it went on for a long time, and I was never believed. And now I started telling the schools and telling the principal what was going on. And every time they made an attempt to communicate with my mom and talk to her, but she would be like, oh no, Natasha's lying. And because she just want to have a boyfriend. That was her thing. I'm lying because I want to have a boyfriend. So, and he was very, I think he was very, how can I say, he was very good at what he did, because the way he did it and how he, he protected himself while he was doing it. So it was me saying I'm doing it, but when I would go get tested, they wouldn't find no semen or anything of that nature to identify that he was there. Mm-hmm. But he was doing it, So
he must be a pro.
He was a pro. Yeah. He was a pro.
And then we will find out in the story, Natasha, we will find out that he is actually a pro.
Mm-hmm. So, Simka bien comprendre, c'est que Natasha a parlé que de 5 ans à 10 ans, il y a un cousin qui a molesté lui. Et puis de 10 ans qu'on y a à 14 ans qu'on y a traversé dans Bobel.
Yeah.
Oui.
Wow. So, qu'on y a là, c'est ça qui fait que moi-même obligé de dire ça en créole pour parents haïtiens qu'à comprendre que des fois les petites nous parlent avec nous, disent que gon problème, gon bagaille que y a passé, parce que parents haïtiens ont toujours pensé que Timon a bay menti, et pourtant y a bonne vérité. C'est ça qui fait que des fois Timon a venu vont côté, le pas dire rien encore, parce qu'on vient pas quoi lui. Vous comprenez? Et puis c'est le grand, c'est là ça dit oh my God, I wish, oh me regrette ça, etc. Non. L'on Timoun ouvert avec parents, ou des parents ouverts avec Timoun, pour quitter Timoun dire exactement qui problème il y a, que ce soit à l'école, que ce soit sexuel, que ce soit avec amis, que ce soit si gon amis qui a bouli, qu'on a pas les bouli pour plaisir sous dans l'école, faut qu'à accepter ça, comprendre et quoi Timoun, parce que c'est ça qui fait personnalité Timoun, parce que Timoun ne vient pas qu'on a adulte encore, parce que sous là comme parent c'est où que là pour protéger un Timoun. Mais si Timoun n'a pas senti protection de vous-même, qui soit vous le fait là?
Ou puis là le plus loin, est-ce qu'on connaît que perpetrator a moun k'ap chercher violer, il connaît que pas de trust dans relation avec parents. C'est-à-dire qu'on pas qu'être moun le APC chercher attaquer, yo garder famille qui pas gain connexion ça. Yo connaît petite ça quelque chose ça veut dire pas pour elle, son Timoun qui laissé pour compte, pas de relation ça trust donc il est capable rentrer le mi-temps. Donc son l'autre bagaille encore pour parents cap coûter pas jouer avec ça devant moun ou pas jamais dit petit tout oh bah menti on pas quoi tel monde met faire sauve là avec Lili la main.
OK. Et moi-même moi t'as aimé allons un petit genre plus loin à part expérience de Bahamas et les traversées aux États-Unis dans cas là qui comportement côté gagné qui fait que bon peut être capable vraiment venir attirer à vous-même et que c'est son façon que vous-même gens ou comporter ou bien par expérience ça t'es touché ou déjà ou bien qui attitude côté gain dans télévision qu'on a regardé dans cas là maman dans cas là qui sont qu'on ouais qui l'autre activité qu'on a fait qui cause que ou vient trouver dans même situation ça quoi quand on quitte à l'âge de 10 ans à 10 à 15 14 ans dans cas là qui fait que monsieur ça que tu vivre dans cas avec maman là t'es arrivé même pour l'abuser.
Well, comportement, mais c'est comportement Timon. But simplement, quand dit m'te développé. So, okay. Même gens, même qu'on y a, c'est comme ça, m'te Timon. Même pas, m'te un petit Jean Pipiti, mais c'est même gens m'te. So, pour lui même, lui, ouais, opportunité qui, m'ka regarder petit dans tout, parce que m'te développé, m'te en belle forme, c'est ça, lui, ouais, qu'elle était qu'à faire, mais comportement, simplement, te comportement Timon, parce que m'ta y l'esprit. Pour me dire que l'esprit grand monde so m'pas ka dire t'a pas qui était tellement pas dans
li continue.
Et même si ou t'as fait une attitude qui t'a extrême,
sédimentaire
on
papa, exactement.
T'as supposé la protéger, mais mon ça aussi chercher à faire opportunité.
Yeah.
Natasha, émotionnellement, comment côté gérer situation, c'est-à-dire quelle relation émotionnelle côté gagné avec monsieur Sarah et puis avec maman dans le temps. Comment Natasha à 10 ans émotionnellement t'es est-ce que tu es en déni? Were you in denial and you were kind of like happy and putting compartmentalizing? Or were you more fearful? What was going on internally with you at that time?
I wouldn't say that I was in denial. I wasn't in denial. It was happening. It was real. I wasn't in denial. But I knew from there at the age of 5 until 14 that I was damaged in a way that nobody couldn't understand, because when you have been called a liar so many times and you're trying to mess up my family, or you just don't want me to have that person to pay my bills. So I know it was real, but I just wanted my mom as my mother to believe like, Mom, I don't have any reason to lie. But in the midst of all that, I was a very damaged little girl growing up. So now the time when I decided, hey, I wanted to go elsewhere because I knew what was being done to me was not the right thing. So when I decided to go elsewhere, then my life changed from there too. It took a big turn.
So that was the second abuser was the last abuser in your life? So now I know fast forward, your mother kicked you out. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
And why I say my last abuser was my last abuser. So when I decided to actually have sex on my own, I got pregnant at 15. So then my mother kicked me out. She goes,
so you decided to have sex at 15. Do you believe that it was partly due to the abuse, or do you feel like it was really a natural inclination that you just were in love and you wanted to connect with someone emotionally and sexually, or was it more like like acting out?
I didn't know what love is. Okay. I wouldn't say at 15. I don't have a clue what it is, but I just wanted to do it, and it wasn't anything that was planned. It was just that I did it. And I have 2 kids with this individual. He was older than me, actually. I think now he's about 59 years old, but he was older than me. But it was just one time, and that was it. And I don't think it was a mistake. I think that was the way it was orchestrated to go for me to get out of the environment that I was in. But
so now you felt safe.
I felt safe.
You were like, great, my life is finally going to start and I'm going to be happy. So that's the second time you had that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh my God, things are going to be great now.
Yeah.
So what happened then in that relationship?
I mean, I was 15, so I didn't go in with the intent of getting pregnant, but I did. So now here I go, I tell, my daughter's father now that I'm pregnant, and he says I can have no kids. So I was alone again by myself. So I had to figure it out. So I was all alone. I started sleeping on the streets, but people let me sleep at their house here and there, but I was mainly on the street. So many people didn't want me to live with them because of my mom. I don't want your mom to come to my house and say that I'm housing you and stuff. So it forced me to become an adult. So I became an adult.
I mean, I'm almost out of lost of words now. They didn't want you to. They rather for you to stay on the street than to live with them in the house because of your mom. Correct?
Because of my mom.
So all this, comment ça affecte relation qu'on y a avec garçon?
Bon, m'baka di konya, m'ba parler pour konya, but m'ba parler avant. Let me go back. Relationships for me didn't have value.
Wow.
None at all. So it was mainly, tell me what you want from me. So that's how I looked at, men. Well, just tell me what you want from me, because you're gonna be just like the other guys anyway. So that's how I looked at relationship. So I didn't take it serious. But as my daughters started to get older, I had to take a turn, and I'm like, you know what? I have to be a role model for my kids. I don't want to be that person that my mother was to me. So I took a turn and I had to change my mindset. Now, this came with a lot of healing. I had to really go and heal that little girl named Natasha that was dying on the inside. The little girl was still crying for help. As an adult, I was still crying for help. So I had to go back and heal that little girl named Natasha in order for me to become the person that I am now.
Natasha, I want to ask you a question because I really want to connect with the people and I want to understand how they're feeling, right? So what were you telling yourself as this was happening to you? Were you telling yourself, oh, I deserve this, something is wrong with me, or I don't want to lead you, I'm just giving you some examples of what I mean, but what was going through your mind as this was happening to you?
Well, I'm gonna start off with my mom and then I'm gonna go back. Since my mom didn't believe me, since my mom wasn't supporting me, I felt like it was my fault. It was happening to me.
Okay.
So I felt like I was the cause of everything. And even at times I felt like, well, maybe if I kill myself, everything would be over. I have thought about killing myself many times. And I just thought about my girls. And I was like, no, who's going to take care of my girls?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, these are the real impacts of sexual abuse.
How's your relationship right now with your mom?
My mom passed away in 2018.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Okay. That's why I'm able to talk about it.
Wow. Okay.
I had a fear. I was very fearful of my mom.
So before she passed away, sorry to bring it up, was she actually now at one point say, you know what, you were right? She apologized. She understood everything.
3 days before she passed away.
Wow. Okay.
She said, Natasha, it's not that I never believed you. Mm-hmm. It's that I was on survival mode. And that's all I had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Moi, c'est que genre de sujet ça, c'est des sujets qui tabou. Il y a une communauté noire et je pense que là, Natasha a assez de courage à l'âge que lié là pour que Yveline parler de ça. Et je peux même croire que Natasha est un livre, avec Natasha?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Et de ça, je pense que c'est ça que Anne t'a mentionné dans le commencement et interview ça, petite conversation que nous avons fait ensemble avec Natasha. Quand c'est des bagages qui cachent, nous faisons parfois peur pour venir parler avec nous. Même quand nous travaillons, nous avons une mauvaise journée, nous courons entrer dans la petite team, nous avons venir. Même son petit rock, la PC, nous dit, je suis fatigué là, pour rentrer. Nous avons une chance pour parler, pour l'exprimer. Et parfois, tout ça, tu as arrangé. Et mon nana, il connaît bien ça l'a faire. Et il a juste retenu le moment ça qu'on pourra laisser faire là pour laisser montrer que la faut peur et pour pas même qu'à approcher parents et qu'on a parents même à propousser.
C'est ça.
Et je pense que là, je pense que c'est on façon que nous-mêmes nous dans Meli Melo nous menons genre de sujet pour nous parler de pour nous capable ouvrir les yeux monde de famille surtout genre surtout nous-mêmes race noire. Et les passent en pile dans la famille, il faut nous parler de eux-mêmes. À noter qu'on l'autre question à poser.
Oui, tellement de questions, même qu'on est que nous avancer à l'interview. L'autre question m'avait demandé. Natasha partageait avec nous que Yveline écrit livre là après que maman mourit. Parce que jusqu'à le grand monde, il pas voulait faire maman le honte. Que bon, qu'on y a traversé ça ou là. Est-ce que, now that you know what you know, would you have done things differently? Would you have written this book before? Would you have had the courage to faire maman want, faire famille want, and tell that story and get really release all of that, maybe 10 to 15 years before?
No.
You would not have. So tell us a little bit about that.
The reason I wouldn't have, written a book, in the midst of me being fearful of my mom, I love my mom. So I wanted to actually keep her reputation where it was. So I didn't want to mess it up for her. I didn't want people to look at her as a bad person. And I don't think that she was a bad person. I think she did what she knew how to. And maybe she suffered with that in her past. I don't know because she never communicated that with me. But I think that's more so where it went. I wanted 100% from her and she only can give me 10%. So whatever it is that she went through, I think it triggered down to me.
You see, so again, we are today, 2025. A lot of parents show up at 10% in their kids' lives, especially in the Haitian, not especially, as much in the Haitian community as any other communities. And again, for the parents who are watching, if this is you doing that 10-20%, this is your opportunity to do a little bit more. This is an opportunity for you to get out of what is worse, Natasha's mom, the embarrassment that Natasha's mom would have had, or what Natasha's going through right now, which everything is in a book now and everything is out now. And now, what do they look like now, having put all of that out there? So what is more important, your reputation or the health of your lineage? What is more important?
My lineage, the health of my lineage was more important, but again, I love my mom.
That's it. That's it.
Bon, go ahead.
Non, est-ce que après période ça yo, et ou pas jamais aller en thérapie, ou pas qui est-ce qui pousse ou pour te engager pour t'aller écrire et faire un livre ça? Est-ce qu'on pas jamais fait thérapie ou même personnellement là qu'on entre dans l'âge qu'on est, on devient plus grand, ça pas arriver à présent, mais est-ce que on pas jamais essayé faire thérapie peut-être pas?
Actually, I am my own therapy. I don't think nobody can heal my mind better than me. I have to be willing. So my thing is, even though I can sit and listen to someone talk to me, but that wouldn't work for me. I have to be able to take control of my mind. So when I decided to heal myself, I did the therapy by myself to heal my mind. And that's how I was able to overcome my trauma.
So what does that look like? I'm sorry.
What does it look like? I started off with the 5-year-old Natasha. Start off with her because she was damaged. She was crying for help. And even in my adulthood, that 5-year-old little girl was still crying for help. I had kids and that 5-year-old was still crying out for help. So what I did is I decided to go on a 30-day by myself. I needed that break. I told my kids that, mommy has something that she has to do and I want you guys to respect. Give me 30 days alone. Within 30 days, I was able to write 3 books. Being alone. Within 30 days, I cried out and I healed that little girl named Natasha. I told that little girl everything I wanted to hear from my mom that was missing from the time I was 5 up until I was an adult. And I went on every episode that I can remember in my mind that I needed help with. I went on and go ahead and did everything that I thought my mom was supposed to do to get me to that person that I needed to be. So that's how I was able to heal myself up until me being an adult.
Wow. That is called healing your inner child, and you did that work. I applaud you, and I'm so proud of you for doing that.
Bon, et puis, ça me dit ajouter tout vraiment, parce que parents haïtiens eux-mêmes, ils n'ont pas aimé qu'il n'y a pas son bagage pour société à juger. C'est problème ça qui gagne. Yo pas veulent tel connaît parce que tel qu'a jugé pour aller parler au petit tel là, li nan promiscuité là fait au ensemble c'est problème dans ça. Et sous même rubrique ça tout, je voulais que moun yo connaît que ça n'arrive pas seulement avec petits filles, ça arrive petits garçons tout. Parce que moun yo doit penser oh c'est petits filles non, on regarde un petit garçon là caillou, un petit garçon que l'autre moun a moyen que si au l'école congrégation frère a moyen, père a moyen, si au enfant de cœur tout ça arrivé. So c'est pas m'avler que nous stéréotype nous penser oh bah on c'est petit garçon ça même non. Ça arrivait tout le monde, ça arrivait tout petit monde. Point qui a aidé dans ça, c'est communication avec petit tout. Point final. Tu vois? So, I'm again, I don't know combien de fois m'a obligé de dire sorry for all this stuff parce que m'a imaginer ça passer en tant que de 5 ans à 10 ans et de 10 ans à 14 ans, qui veut dire childhood ou presque passé là.
Oh yes, that's what you was doing.
I didn't have a childhood.
Exactement. So qu'on y a là, son monde qu'on a dit vraiment qui ont damage.
Yeah, but nous allons finir l'interview avec un bon point parce que she healed herself.
Yeah.
She has a non-profit organization that's out there helping people and she a conscientisé mon dans la rue. So now tell us a little bit about that new Natasha that came out, like that phoenix that rose through the ashes and that became. Tell us about that, because I think I want people to understand that there's hope. It's not because something like this happens to you that your life is over. As a matter of fact, maybe God has a bigger purpose for you. So tell us a little bit about, and give people the hope that I want. That's one thing. The second thing is, anybody who's listening right now and you're in this position, I want to give them a resource that they can call. Call me, send me a message, Penkita. Truly, call Natasha, call Fabrice. This is why we're doing this. Come out of the woodworks. We will connect you with resources to help you get out of this. You don't have to wait 25 years to get out of it. You can get out of it today. So tell us a little bit about how you rose from these ashes and became this superwoman that you are right now.
You know, first off, I want to say, by the grace of God, that I was able to do that, because, you know, a lot of prayer, a lot of scriptures took me through that. I came out the new Natasha, and I'm happy that you guys get, you know, to meet the new Natasha, because the old Natasha, my God, you guys would have, yeah. But the new Natasha with healing, that's the person who I am today. I'm strong. Stronger than I thought I was, because it was a battle, but I'm stronger than I thought I was. And a lot of things that I'm doing now, even with pain with no scars. A lot of people say, why pain with no scars? I tell people the reason I chose that name is because I had a lot of pain, but I didn't have any scars to prove it. You know, being that I went through so much in life. So with Pain with No Scars, that platform also was incorporated with my healing journey. So every time I would have a platform, and I would have about 6 to 7 speakers that's telling their story, including myself, it was also a healing process for me. So I started doing Pain with No Scars in 2020. 2020, I had my first conference. I maxed over 300 people. I did, you know, I have brunches and stuff, and I'm sold out. And this is the reason why, because a lot of people are hiding behind their truth. So right now you have I won't say perfect, but you have the better version of me, because this is the healed version of me. I am open to talk about whatever it is. Before, I was embarrassed to say that, hey, my stepfather had sex with me, you know. I was very embarrassed. But now it's like, okay, why not me? And I have a song that I listen to, and the song say, why not me? I'm the perfect person to go through that storm. So I think I was the perfect person, not just for myself, but for the people out there that is actually going through the same thing and is afraid to talk about it. So right now, I don't have an issue. I'm completely healed, you know, and I'm happy that, you know, I got to heal myself just for my daughters, because they look up to me so much. And it's like, you know, I call them leeches, because they look up to me, you know, they look up to me so much. And even with them, I also, you know, the healed Natasha, I protected my kids so much that I sheltered them. They don't even know how to do things on their own without me. And the only reason I did it is because of what I went through. I didn't want them to experience their first time with someone taking something from them that they didn't, you know, agree to. So that's the reason why, you know, I had to go through it, and I had to actually heal myself. So a lot of times, you know, like Fabrice said, you know, with therapy and stuff like that, not all the time that therapy
Sorry, go ahead.
is going to, you know, help you.
So now Natasha has a nonprofit organization. You're making moves, you're empowering people, you're changing lives. What about Natasha's love life? How is that going?
You know what? Love life. I'm with someone. I'm gonna be very transparent as I can be. And I'm gonna say it in Creole. Ça nous pas vle, c'est lui-même qui bon pour nous.
Okay. We were just talking about this in the back, right?
Yeah. Ça nous pas vle, c'est
hope people understand what that means.
So
say that again.
Ça nous pas vle, c'est lui-même qui bon pour nous. So, in other words, the person that I'm with, not only have he been, not only have he been a friend, he's been a father, he's been that person that I need to encourage me. He's been like the backbone. I remember before my healing journey, I would spaz out. And he would just say, okay, Natasha, And he was actually there with me through all of this. And the person that I am today is because he was next to me and he supported me. And not only my kids, I was a single mom with my girls. He's an amazing father to my kids.
So how long you guys been together now?
It was 17 years.
So how did you end up to give him trust, to trust this person, to get to in their life?
Trust him as I look how he interact with my kids, because that's my most valuable piece in my life is my kids. And I paid attention to how he interacted with my kids and how he loved on my kids. I paid attention to how he looked at my kids, because being a victim, you pay attention to these things. So how he looked at my kids and how he, what's the body language? I pay attention to body language. And so none of the things that I encountered were there at all. And this is where I let my guards down. I had my oldest daughter. She got sick. She got really sick, and she couldn't even get up to take a shower by herself. And I watched this man pick up my daughter, because I couldn't pick her up, but pick up my daughter and take her a shower. And there was nothing there telling me, it was just out of love. So that's why I was, I have to let my guard down a little bit. But I won't say from time to I always ask my daughters till now, how do you guys feel? Do you guys feel uncomfortable? I still ask little questions just to see if there is anything that I'm missing, because I don't want to miss any loopholes along the way.
Looking at the comments online, most of them, not to say all of them, tout le monde a complimenté ou gen courage en pile pour venir pour exprimer ça, parce que ça son bagay qui hurtful, pas gen monde qui t'a jamais raconté tout ça rivé dans Jean rivé à la toute expérience qu'on gagne. Alors avec ça, est-ce que Timoun nous connaît la même communication, est-ce que vous venez de toute bagay? Mommy, this is what's going on. Yeah.
Oh, I told him. I told him everything, and even within the relationship that I'm in, I'm going to use that as an example because it was actually my truth. I didn't even want to sleep with this person. It was just like, let's just. And it was because of what happened to me. So sleeping with a man, it was just like,
yeah. Sometimes you can bring that. Memories of feelings. Bon, et gen moun la ki gen doit envie poser question. So we have the number here. 678-678-397-1517. Encore téléphone là if you would like to call us and have a comment or questions, because you only have just a few minutes left. You can call us again at 678-397-1517.
And as people are calling, I know this is the end. If you had to say something to your mother today, what would you say to her? After she passes, meaning you've gone through the passing, you've gone through the book, you've gone through all these interviews where people keep asking you your relationship with your mom. Do you hate her? Do you love her? Now where Natasha is today, what would you say to your mom as a mother yourself?
I would say, one thing I would say to my mom is, I wish you would have believed me. Not to say the first wouldn't have happened, but the second would have never happened.
Yeah.
I wish you would have believed me. And the only thing I wanted from you is for you to be there for me. And I never had that until, it was an adult, and it was forced. But I just wish she would have believed me. I was never, I met my dad, I was in my 20s, so everything already happened,
So does he know the whole story right now?
My dad passed away right after my mom.
Wow.
Okay. So he didn't get a chance to, be privy to that.
Single family homes. This does not only happen in single family homes. Please understand that it's just the rate is higher. So now for the people who are listening, if you have an inclination, if you're thinking that you saw something, even my son, I tell him, if you see something from your friends, they're not eating in the cafeteria, their behavior, let me know. So now all of us listening, let's pay a little bit more attention to the people around us, to our little cousins, nephews, nieces coming for birthday parties at your home, your friends' kids, what your kids tell you about their friends, what your kids tell you about themselves. Allow yourself to have those uncomfortable conversations with your kids, because we can completely eradicate childhood molestation, childhood rape with awareness, with that kind of awareness. They say 95% of childhood sexual abuse can be prevented through awareness and communication, and that's what we're doing here. So reach out to us, send us a message. If somebody's in a position right now, we will connect you with the proper resources. You are not alone. Your life does not need to look like this.
You're not alone. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Bon, ça me dit mon yo. Et c'est ça que Meli Melo a. Vous comprenez? Des fois, nous venons avec des séries de sujets tabous, nous venons avec des séries de sujets qui pas discutés souvent et entre nous-mêmes haïtiens, etc. Bien que des fois, nous venons avec des sujets qui sont éducatifs. Meli Melo, c'est ça qu'on a fait pour la communauté. Ça souhaitait que les gens qui apprennent de ça que se parler là, qui a coûté très bien de toutes les signes. Parce que le monde, ça a toujours bon petit signe. Prédateur, ça a toujours des séries de bagages, vous comprenez? Il y a des séries de petits signes, il faut qu'à ouais, vous êtes là, vous comprenez? So, pour le pas trop tard. Alors.
Est-ce que vous voulez relire?
Non.
Est-ce que vous pouvez partager quelques statistiques pendant que vous avez relire?
Go ahead.
You see, one in 3 girls in the United States and 1 in 5 boys are sexually abused before the age of 18. Before the age of 18, 1 out of every 3 girls, 1 in every 5 boys are sexually abused. I'm going to have a pool party for my son's birthday party. I'm going to have 25 kids. I have to be aware of those numbers when I'm looking at those kids. Approximately 82% of all victims are under 18, and they're female. 88% of sexual abusers claim they did talk to CPS, and the perpetrator was a male. About 90% of child sexual abuse is perpetrated by someone known and trusted by the child or their family. C'est pas jamais, nous pas besoin de payer étranger, c'est mon de la caille nous pour nous garder.
C'est au plus près.
C'est au plus près. 90%.
Parce que c'est au gain accès.
C'est au gain accès.
Avec mon nom.
Nous ne disons pas faire bonne confiance, mais ça nous dit c'est que ouvert.
Surveillance.
Have conversations with everyone in the house.
Et c'est pas ça seulement tout. En pile fois, on petit monde qui doit le côté parents là voyer blême dans sous. C'est parce que pour mener dans cas avec ti bail bien coûte. On connaît gomme c'est dans cas là on c'est ou même qu'a provoquer. So you voyer blâme dans sous. On est là for you to feel guilty on top of que moun na fort. Comprendre? Son bagage qui très compliqué, son bagage qui vraiment Fabrice, allez non.
Après tout ça, mon ça, beau père ça, mon ça li en vie, côté lié, est-ce que aux gens fait tout à présent, non?
Oh yeah, moi.
À quel genre de
2019. Li wem te gon sem kap marié. Et puis they deemed sorry.
Still part of the
he said sorry too.
Yeah. And I said, at this point, you can take it up with God. I forgave you a long time ago, so no need to, speak.
What's your cousin?
My cousin passed away. Yeah. So
this is a man.
Wow.
I don't know if you wanted to share how you found how the cops came to your door a few years ago.
Oh yeah. I was 38, 39 at the time, and I got a knock from the FBI at my door. And I'm like, it's weird, but I opened the door and they showed me a picture. They said, you know this person? And I said, yeah. I said, who did he have sex with now? And she said his 9-year-old daughter.
So you understand?
Is 9-year-old biological daughter or daughter-in-law? Biological daughter.
I see.
30 years later.
So
this is a man who spent all his
Please
life
tell me,
he's sick.
He went to jail, but eventually, I don't know, he threatened a mom, and however,
she just left with her kid.
Please understand that rape is not a crime that is punished enough in this country, in the world. Women are being abused. Women are being killed by their partners, sexually abused. These people walk around in the streets, but if you steal money from the IRS, you're going to spend it. You're spending your life in prison. But this is a big, big, big issue.
So, I wanted to say thank you so much for opening up to us. And then we are definitely happy to have you. And Fabrice,
you have someone?
You have someone? We have someone on the line? Okay, I guess we have one call and someone on the line before we close it.
I think so. Wait, can you hear?
Let's see what we have now. Hello, bonsoir, où sont Meli Melo?
We cannot hear.
Hello?
Now.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes. I would like to say thank you to Natasha for her story. And as a social worker, and I'm sure that everyone is listening to you that reported it. So I'm a little concerned as a social worker as the fact that I heard you say that you reported it to the school. And that's very surprising that you were not protected. So can you explain a little bit about, you reporting it to the schools? Because as a school, we are mandated reporters. So once any little thing like that is said, it's supposed to be, investigated, whether it's the truth or not.
Actually, with the school, they did come out. They came to the home with the police. They came to the home. But it was one of the things where, my mom, it's not true. She's lying. She's not telling the truth. And he was there. It was just constant. Every time they came, it was the same thing. It was the same thing. So nothing was being done by the school as well.
So DFACS didn't step in?
They did not step. I couldn't remember because my mom, after, them coming to the house many times, it was just like after they leave, I would get a whooping. So I don't think they got involved, really. But everything that I reported later on down the line, they were there.
Bon, ça me dit tout, very quickly, c'est que ça qui vaut là, son bail qui vaut tellement longtemps, c'est qu'on y a commencé à mettre de structure in place.
True.
Pour ça arriver, mais longtemps, depuis maman, elle doit dire un bagay, vous comprenez ça, là, most of the time, when you get there, un paquet de cases, you're just willing to close the case real quick. Vous comprenez? Le Kounia là is different. Vous comprenez? C'est ça qu'on a parlé là tout à l'heure.
OK. Est-ce que le livre, ça va être un petit livre là? Et
ou bien qui côté nous quand je venir et tout ça?
Thank you.
Well, the book, I have the book on Amazon. I have Pain. It's called Pain with No Scars, same as the nonprofit. It tells you a little bit about my story, how it started and where I ended up. And also I have Forgiveness is Key, Let It Go. That's another thing that I had to do is forgive. Especially it started off with my mom. I really had to go deep and forgive my mom and everybody that had wronged me for me to actually, do what I was doing and healing myself. So Forgiveness is Key and Pain with No Scars is on Amazon. And I also have the prayer journal as well, the scriptures that I used to overcome the pain that I was going through as well.
All right. Last word, Anne Christie.
Yep.
Well,
you seem like you lost, Anne.
Natasha, honestly, thank you so much for sharing that powerful story with us. Thank you for being, putting yourself through it. And I did ask you the question, are you re-traumatizing yourself every time you tell the story?
Nope.
No, she's not. She's helping and she's healing. She's healed and she's able to talk about it. And able to help other people who are listening to us find grace, find a path forward. There is a path forward for you.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to, again, thank you, Radio Glace, thank you, Meli Melo, for taking on such a tough subject that is difficult to speak in that Haitian community, and that we're able to talk about it so openly and without any shame. There's no shame, there's no guilt. This is not what this is. This is about your survival, and this is about you protecting your lineage and making it better, because you will have kids one day. So the person who's going through this today, just like Natasha, will have kids. And so your time is now. You don't have to wait. Your time is now to communicate.
Okay. Fabrice.
Well, c'est deux segments qui sont vraiment intéressants et dans le show à soya, segment Martine ensemble avec mesdames yo. Et puis qu'on a le dernier segment ça qui est vraiment touchant. On me dit équipe la merci, Anne-Christine merci de pour t'accepter venir faire segment ça ensemble avec nous. On va penser que c'est pour une dernière fois. Et bon, ça me capable dire mon yo continue supporter Meli Melo. Et nous dit tout, et commanditaire, tout le monde qui supporte et Meli Melo, merci. Et nous pas de temps passer toute réclamation et
parce que le choix était vraiment, ce jeu qui est vraiment long. Et puis, bon, sur même rubrique ça tout, on devait dire Radio Grâce, opérateur, merci parce que le ballon petit minutes en plus. Vous comprenez parce que au sujet, c'est un sujet qui vraiment a aidé tout côté, so m'apprécier ça en pile. Et
week-end ça, oui, dis-moi, je veux dire, dire sorti week-end ça, pour amour, à fêter week-end ça avec c'est ce week-end ça, faites Radio Tambour.
Oui, Radio Tambour, c'est week-end ça, exactement, c'est Kai avec Wichel, cap jouer samedi. Définitivement, je planifié pour mal supporter Radio Tambour. Week-end dernier, c'était une belle comédie dans Lounge. Nous disons aussi compliment, bon bagaille, mais aussi, il faut faire un petit parler avec Monsieur Weather, parce que chaque coup font bagaille là, il sorti pour mouiller nous. Bon, c'est très bien, parce que je me dis bon, que nous, on a Atlanta, un paquet d'activités. Vous comprenez? Tout le monde sait au essayer de faire activité, nous disons merci en pile, parce que ça, même pas d'avoir dans quel côté pour aller.
C'est ça.
D'accord? Merci tout le monde parce que nous sommes Radio Grâce. Merci tout le monde parce que nous avons gardé Meli Melo. Rendez-vous, nous, c'est lundi prochain, même heure, 6h, 8h. Fabrice, le dernier mot?
Bon, pas un dernier mot, non, c'est le dernier mot.
Encore une fois, je suis content que partager nous toujours une belle énergie entre nous, et énergie malgré que ça fait des mois que je me parle là sur le plateau, mais quand même énergie a été de même. Et moi, vraiment apprécié ça. OK?
Welcome. Encore. Happy anniversary!
Yeah, Meli Melo. Fin d'année.
Fin d'année, une belle fête.
OK. Merci tout le monde.
D'accord.
Bye bye.
Fan de la musique haïtienne, sit back and relax.
Meli Melo Show.
A informé de tout ça qu'a fait dans HMI là. Music, analyse, actualité, promotion, interview, spotlight, collaboration, live performance, fan Q&A, history, mainstream. Get all that on Meli Melo Atlanta Show.